attack spine. Page from Higaonna Sensei. Twist, roll, Brian, roll. Attacking the eyes. First movements in the kata, cover, round, block, Kansetsugeri. Okay, quite easy. Brian, let's get going. Brian has to wait 4 more days wearing a mask before he's allowed to be no mask, because then he would have been in isolation with us for a full 2 weeks without being out of the house. Bear with us, please. Taking for my chest, and I'm going to block, Kansetsugeri. This is probably the most basic without moving too much. If he does the same side again, please. Block, Kansetsugeri. All right, punch again. Block, trap, pull, kick, Kansetsugeri. This is more along the lines that I like. Punch again. Block, pull, round, Kansetsugeri. Let's do that one again, Brian. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's that second block. Put him down. 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hand position, blocking and blocking, striking, and then some kind of blocking. So this kept me awake a little last night. Let's go, Brian. He grabs my hand. Okay, he tries to knee me in the groin. 1. Break free, strike, strike. Very primitive idea. So block, grab, strike, strike. 1, 2, kick, elbow. All right, so we can break it down into individual movements, but by and large it works quite nicely as a complete movement, and we can probably even include the pulling backwards. He punches 1, block, pull, he punches again, block, uppercut. First 2 movements in their basic form. He punches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Brian's defense is protecting himself here in these kind of planes as he's blocking. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pull this hand to extend him, trying to get into the center line, and then trying to hold him in place and force him into a different angle of attack. I'm going in here 1, and I'm attacking. I'm pressing against him. He doesn't like this, so he's going to push on my elbow with his hand. Push down. Push down. That's it. Get rid of the elbow, Brian. You're going to get rid of that elbow. As he's pressing to get rid of this, he's pushing his body weight down. He starts to press, his whole body weight goes forward. And as that body goes forward, it unbalances him naturally. So we can just attack his leg quite easily. And that pulling, there we get that. Easy. Nothing fancy. He attacks. 1, 2, pull. Twist. 1, 1, 2, 3. Attack. 1, 2. Brings us to here. 1, 2, 3. The block, grab, strike. I think the great thing about this particular movement, or all the movements in the kata, the more you watch very high-grade instructors doing it, and you see the basic kernel of knowledge being opened up, expanded a little bit, and just the refinement on the nuances of the particular school. I watched Masuda Sensei doing some little extractions out of Kururumfa during online seminar a couple of weeks ago, and you know, some of the stuff I was like, wow, All right, so when you get here, there's subtleties. So the idea is 1, 2. When I get here, this hand is here and it's touching. And as it goes here, it starts to pull. Here's the elbow, my shoulder. So I start creating this. But also, the swivel step that you see in some of the schools. And that brings my leg around. So I'm attacking here, 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 and here. Okay, and obviously the easiest thing for him to do is just to step there. So I do this, and he's out. It's great in some ways because it gets the person into a nice position to get out. So, taking from something I saw yesterday from the GKC, since Paul Enfield, also on Kurumfa, was saying that the kata helps you understand that if you make a mess somewhere, you end up with the next movement in the kata. And I think this is quite a common theme throughout all of our kata. I think that the genius of kata is that if you look for the next movement, you will get an idea of more or less where you could go, and if you mess up, what you could do. So as he attacks, one, I take my life in my hands. I step to the inside. I make a mess. I step in. I do this. And immediately, maybe my elbow misses. I've got my back to him. He's naturally he's gonna look for something. Maybe something else is coming, and he's gonna grab on with his arms, go around the body, and now I'm in this position. So now you're starting to see this opening movement, or down, or press, kind of coming out, where you're seeing the arms coming up and around. Should you go to the Nelson? I've hardly ever seen anybody put in a Nelson in a real fight, but I remember as a schoolboy, the bully used to use Nelson all the time to do obscene things to other boys to show off his machismo. Should we go inside? And we're looking for this, and he goes to Nelson. There we go. Now he's got the Nelson technique on, and then you see head back and fingers. Something that I was so surprised to see the effectiveness. If he's holding press down, Brian, he's holding this way. Put your hands here, pull down, and immediately the grip is breaking. Simply augmenting the head back with your hands. All right, then obviously things like this come into play quite nicely. Thank you, Sensei Paul Enfield. That's all I can say. It was like a big light bulb. So then we go to this movement. Obviously, the classical kind of compliant scenario is the following. Going to Nelson is the idea of pulling his fingers back, head-butting, cranking his fingers, striking his groin. The flamboyance of somebody like Sensei Chinen was get skinny, drop through the guard, grab on the ankles, you're laying on the floor, kick the person in the stomach. And this was kind of bunkai, and then pull down behind their knees, they fall forward onto their face, and a kikato geri into the back of the head. I don't think the bunkai itself has relevance to where I am now in my life, but the idea of the bunkai, of changing the plane that you're in, changing the dimension you're in, is very much something that Sensei Chinen was kind of passionate about. I remember him talking about, don't see the world in 2 dimensions, always look 3 dimensions. His idea of a lot of attacking the legs, being able to get down on the floor, not being afraid of the floor and being on the ground and using that to your advantage. Is there something valuable in what we're doing? Definitely. Is there something valuable in this particular bunkai that works? Definitely. So bear with me. That's a short disclaimer. Brian, let's go back to Nelson, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. As you can see, if the person is standing their ground and you try pull, yeah, doesn't work. A parent in the dojo who was former policeman and who had done hand-to-hand combat within our South African police services was to literally hold their arms and to lunge forward, twist, and to drop. Kind of like a sacrifice throw you'd see in a WWE wrestling match. You're holding on, you lift the person up and you land on them and you drop your body weight onto them. If you're not expecting it, knocks the air out of you, bump your head on the floor. If you don't have soft tatami, you can give the person a little bit of a good bashing on the head on the ground. Gravity is your friend, and works like a dream. 1, 2. Ideas around this as a braking technique, lifting, braking, but also elbows. Elbows, similar to Seiyun-Shin at the end. Low down like a rugby tackle. He's looking for this. The arms down and pressing. This is important. Somebody asked or posted about where do we have the relevance to dealing with BJJ as karate people? Well, my honest answer is you do karate, it is governed by the norms and rules and guidelines of karate. Jiu-jitsu is governed by its own laws, and if there is a competitive element, then that is where the flaw will be. Tournament fighting, kumite has limitations because of the rules. Grappling is limitation for the rules. So here are some of the things that I don't think you're allowed to do in Jiu-Jitsu. So if he's trying to attack me and shoot, yes, obviously if I open my guard and sprawl, attacking the spine, number 1. That's critical. 2, wait, Brian, I'm not done with you yet. Attack spine. Page from Higoana Sensei. Twist, roll, Brian, roll. Attacking the eyes, the face, the throat. But most importantly, attacking the eyes. Attacking the groin, grab and squeeze. These are more practical answers. Some of them are very simple. I'm going to go down. Imagine we're in this position here. Okay, so practical answer, a little bit of a tangent for me. How do I deal with somebody who's trying to grapple with me? I fight dirty. And the dirtier I fight, the more likely I will win. As a young boy at school, I was told that only donkeys kick. And I had a natural ability to kick people in the head. So if there was a school boxing match, I wasn't allowed to kick. Because some schoolmaster said, no, only donkeys kick. If I can kick a person in the head and it ends the fight, then it ends the fight. Problem solved. Only girls pull hair. If I can pull the hair and pull the person to the ground and it ends the fight, it ends the fight. Nobody grabs or reaches into the groin. No, if I grab and squeeze, fight is over. All right? Because most of the time, these things are so painful. Only cats scratch. If I scratch your eyes, we know what happens. You get something tiny, minuscule in your eye. Your eye is going to be open, close, open, close. The irritation is going to cause you to tear up a little bit. It's a natural defense mechanism of the human body. But more importantly, because the eye is such a vast collection of neurons, this is going to happen. So we know that fighting dirty, throwing sand in the eyes, scratching the eyes, attacking the groin, pulling the hair, the ears, these dirty fighting methods are taboo in certain places. Now let's go back to one of the great valuable lessons from Sensei Chinen. Kurumfa is a kata that demonstrates very feminine aspect. And often he would say this first movement is like a lady combing her hair. But what sticks in my mind is Sensei Chinen's hands. I've got tiny hands. Sensei Chinen had very large hands for a man of his stature. And this idea of these fingers pulling like this. And I thought to myself, yikes. Okay, so we just changed this plane to this plane. And imagine what that is doing to your opponent. And I think that is part of what we've got to look at. We see this as a break only, but it can also be pulling down and pressing down. Okay, so the idea of pulling down. If I use one hand this way and I'm opening him up, pressing. Now, headbutt backwards, headbutt forward. Okay, so full break. Arm up. You know, next movement is this. Arm up to attack the head. Change the angle. Stop him from headbutting. Twist. Twist. Hands come down. Hammer fist. By just splitting, that one hand is doing this. One hand maybe is doing this or this. One hand. One hand. One hand. Different view. Hope you enjoyed that. We get to here, here, here. We do 1, he punched 2, 3, and roll, Brian, and 4. I always remember it as a kid. I was like, yeah, get to throw somebody. Never been able to get it right in randori. So, back to the drawing board. Oizuki. Armbar, I like this a lot more. Okay? I think there is a judo throw where you press the arm and step this way, which works a lot better. Okay? Or an aikido throw. Okay, so 1, 2. I've turned the palm up. 1. Put your leg in front of his leg to create the fulcrum. Pull, press. Shoulder this way, his hand this way, leg that way. And immediately you can follow up. Some other ideas typical of Sensei Chinen. 1, 2, attacking here or here. Right, so instead of doing the throw that way, you do the throw a slightly different way. So you're in this position here. 1, 2. Now, obviously, if you can hook your leg and drag yourself over, then you end up in the mount. So, using this to attack the neck, and then step through, turn, becomes the drop, sacrifice throw, roll your opponent. Okay, we end up here. 1, 2. 1, 2. Block, strike. All right. Standing up, we're fighting. 1, 2. Come in a little bit, stand there. Change guard. So we're here. Just this pushing motion. I think it's very, very, I would say, somewhat suicidal in a fight to be doing this. He's going to pump you with a knee in the face, and you're going to regret it. If you move a little bit to the outside, use an arm to stop the hip, and then look for the foot, and then pull the person down. I think in the video I spoke about the stance in this situation being called Kuru Rumfa Dachi, because it was this very long, elongated stance. One of the other ideas. So we're in this position, this leg trapping idea, taking the person down. Come forward a bit, I was going to hit the Makiwara. Okay. Taking him down, but stepping through. Elongated step to help lever him down. If the guy is bigger than you, you're going to struggle. So you might C to the side and pressing, or to the outside and pressing. And all you're trying to do is change his position. But if I carry on stepping and I put my weight down, we get this. We finish the kata, mawashi uke. So you get 1, 2, and then you step, turn, mawashi uke. Now, is the mawashi uke on its own just a symbol of returning to a center position because you've proceeded to do the kata towards the back end, and now you're turning to face the front again, and you have got this turn, block, and stop. And like all mawashi uke, you probably find that most instructors will revert back to Kikisarani and then to Saifa, and then through all the different variations of what this is about. So the idea of turning. The next thing is the concept that Saifa is the travel version of Kururumfa. In other words, it's the small packaged version of Kururumfa. Kururumfa is the long extended version. Saifa is the shortened version. So obviously the turn at the end of Saifa, the exact same kind of concept. Pulling, clearing, striking, grabbing the head, twisting and pulling. All these concepts come up again. For those of you who have not seen mawashi uke being used before, maybe the first time you're watching one of our videos, this is probably one of the most common techniques in Goju, and we do lots of different bunkai on it. He punches Chidan, 1, 2, 3, and 4. One hand in the groin, strike ear, grab face, pull. If you're in cat stance, use your cat stance to attack the leg. If I'm here, if I want to incorporate the turn, and I just turn, he's naturally going down. Okay, more simplistic. That side, he punches 1, push him away, get the person away. Don't want the person near you. The double-handed catch I don't like. It has value, but I don't really like it because very seldom that you're going to catch both person's hands in combat. Never managed to get it right in Randori yet, so A, I need more training and more practice on it, and B, maybe after nearly 40 years, maybe it's not that practical. So pick an answer, A or B. Fighting position, pulling, grasping on, one hand one way, okay, other hand, 1. If I do 2 hands, I'm ending up like this, drawing the person in. Why would I draw the person in? Because I want to get there. Okay, so 1, 2. Chin, head, crank. Don't need to say much more. It's the end of the kata, it's also the end of your opponent. I think that's it for now. Please enjoy this very, very humble offering. It is not my strongest bunkai or set of bunkai. I would like to spend another 10, 20 years working on Kururumfa, Seisan, Superumpe. It is relative to my belt and my time in karate that I need to spend more time on these, I know. And hopefully this is a starting point will work for everybody. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. In about a week or so, read the comments that pop up and enjoy. Hi. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you very much to the Dechi. And he's still alive. We haven't killed him. And we'll see you guys next week or live stream. Don't forget, we've got live stream. Thank you for watching.